Basically, when a patient presents with a new leukemia, we can take their leukemia cells and we can also get normal cells from them. And we basically compare the entire sequence of the entire genome. And so the DNA of a cell is what makes the cell tick. It's what tells the cell what to do. And so the genome is made up of thousands of different genes, and the patterns of which genes are expressed and at which time determines how that cell is going to function. So every gene in every cell in the human body has the exact same sets of genes, but those genes function differently in different cell types. And which genes are expressed helps to determine whether a cell is going to be a blood cell or a brain cell or whatever. And so when we do sequencing, we sequence all the genes in the genome and identify where the specific acquired mutations are lying. And so we take out the DNA from the cell and we send it off to a sequencing lab, and they provide us with the sequencing information, basically. Yeah, the cure rates for childhood leukemias are approaching over 90%. And that's because of developments in chemotherapy, actually. Combination chemotherapy has been the mainstay for management of both pediatric and adult leukemias for decades. And the only thing that's changed really is how the drugs are given and the combinations of drugs that are given. And so in childhood leukemia, basically we've been able to maximize the types of different therapies that we can give a patient and minimize the toxicity to get very good outcomes in terms of response to therapy and overall survivals. It's different in adult leukemias. We haven't been able to make those changes, and part of that also lies in the genetics of the disease. Kids with leukemia often will have chromosome translocations and genetic mutations that confer a favorable prognosis. When the same genes are mutated in adult patients, they also will have a favorable prognosis. But adults less commonly have the favorable genetic features, and so they have to be treated more aggressively.